ability to transport goods across African borders within Africa is unbelievably complicated. It is cheaper to take something from an African country to a completely distant offshore port to bring it back to an African country than it is to move that produce or that product from one African country to the other across their own borders on the continent. That has everything to do with logistics, but also to do with the simplicity of documentation across borders, the provision of guarantees, and the provision of settlement of sovereign disputes, of disputes with sovereigns. We do all that. So what we're trying to do is to get those to not be silent, but to come together. Give you an example. We do guarantees in a number of our locations in the bank. If you bring them together in one place, they'll be more efficient, more available to all the different institutions to sell to a country. The country won't have to go to 3 places to get their guarantees. These are all relatively obvious things to do. They're not easy. They're part of deep cultural change in an institution that has a proud history and done an amazing job over the last 78 years. So this is not about that. This is about making it future fit for the next 40 to 50 years. So, livable planet in addition to eradicating poverty, and the idea of being inclusive of women and young people as in particular is important, along with all the other things I talked about of what livable planet means. Now, the last part there is to do with the bank and the way the bank works itself. And a great deal of work has gone into the capital adequacy of the bank. Even before I joined in the spring meetings, the bank was able to move its loan to equity ratio, and that generates $40+ billion of additional lending capacity over the coming decade. Being careful about investing money from both sides, both points of view, is kind of important. One of the things the World Bank is doing is to put 50% of its money that goes into climate work into mitigation, which is the avoidance of future heavy emissions growth kind of patterns, but also 50% into adaptation, which is all the other aspects of climate that I was just referring to. The third thing that I kind of came across was therefore a desire for the global south to feel that their voices were being heard in the manner in which development and putting money into their countries was being addressed. And it includes everything from the challenges with the debt situation that a number of countries are in, but it also includes how to prioritize and work in their countries. So that gets to the mission of the bank.